Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. We are up to day 21 of the Natasha Denona palette Lucky Dip. We only have 3 palettes to go. So what is it going to be today? Well, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. I feel like we're coming to the end of a marathon. Let me tell you, I love my Natasha Denona. I love playing in makeup, but I am ready to play in some other brands. So let's go see what we're doing today. There is only 3. We have the Retro Glam, I Need a Nude and Trio Chrome. So what one have we got? Retro Glam, which I have right in front of me. She is here. So there was the original Retro mini palette came out first and people went bananas over it. And then when she announced she was doing the Retro palette, everyone got so excited. And when Retro came out, people had a lot to say because in no way, shape or form did the colour stories match. The Retro palette was just way too deep in pinks and roses and everyone was expecting like some greens, it to be retro-y looking. So this is the cover, gives more of a feel. And then inside we have retro greens. There are pinks in there as well, a bit of brown, but you know, this is the sort of cool tone greens I really, really love. And when this came out, I gave it a real hard burl, let me tell you. So I think we'll go into this pink in the center. Did you think I was going to stick just to greens? So just using this as our base for our transition, and of course we're going to add different colors. Now normally I do a lot of monochromatic greens out of here, but what I want to do is incorporate like these 3 shades in particular, because I've never used the 3 of them together. Obviously we'll go into these as well, and it will be a mainly green based look, but I just want to incorporate these into it because I've never done it. It's been a hot minute since I've used this palette actually. Not because I don't like it, but because once I started the channel, what it meant was that I was bringing in new stuff and doing new things. And so it just got by the wayside, I guess. So what I have loved, as much as I joked in the start that I'm ready to dive into new palettes, what I have actually really loved is the fact that I have gotten to dive back into and play in some of my favourite palettes, and certainly my favourite brands palettes. So next up, next up we'll go into this shade here. We'll just bring this on the outer corner and halfway in just to create a bit of depth. I'm going to bring that green in a second. So, the good thing with these is that they blend so beautifully. You just slap them about quite essentially. And back into that pink. Bring that up a bit higher so that we still see that. And that's what you have to do, is build it up, evaluate how it's looking. Is it where you want it to be? I'm tucking this right down. Now, as I said, I was only going to bring it part of the way, but I'm just pulling the colour that's on there forward now. So this is a cooler tone palette. Now, going in with this green. Oops, can you hear my throat gurgling? And bringing that forward. And again, we will go back in with that pink in a minute, because that's sort of our base, and then we add to it and enhance, and you go back and you redefine. So I have the 3 brushes just sitting here that I have used so far. Again, not putting anything extra on this. And the same with this, just going over the edge now. So that's where we're sitting at base-wise. Now we're going to get into colour and really start to deepen it up. Going in a bit deeper now, and it's just layering, essentially. And bringing this, sort of stamping it. And I know I've just covered that brown, but that's okay. Into this lighter green. So what happens when we're just playing and working out what we want to do. Putting that brown underneath isn't, what it does is it changes the tone slightly. Now, what it also does, if we go back into it, you can see that that is quite firm. I've dipped in, tapped most of it off, just tickling over the edge there now. That brings back in that shade, and it also gives us a bit of a gradient and fades out the green. See? That's what we want. Now I've got a slightly fluffier brush going into this pink again, and just same thing, tickling over the edge. Because it is all about that blend. Let's have a look. These are your shimmers. This green is a cream to powder. Then you've got these 3. Like, they are all stunning. Just cleaning off my finger for a second. Got it everywhere. Now I am just going to add the slightest amount of depth on that outer corner. I'm going to go into the cream to powder green because, just because. I have mentioned a lot of people don't like the cream to powders. I have been falling back in love with them in this just because of the finish of them and how they end up working, and they just sort of ground your look, if I'm honest. Now I'm going into this shimmer in the top corner. And going across. And then we'll pull in the lighter shimmer in a minute, but see, this is what everyone wanted when the retro palette came out. This was what they were expecting, and she listened. She listened. Which is great. I've got a bit too high there, so just pulling that. I don't even know what was on this brush at this point in time. Just using that to buff, essentially. Now on the inner corner, there's this, let me just clean my finger off for a second. There is this shimmer. I'm not using that today. I'm going in, of course, with this mint green. Because, I mean, look at it. I love these colours. Oh, yeah, I do. I have just gone and put a white liner under in my waterline, which I don't normally do. And underneath the eye, I'm going to go in. Now this is a cream to powder. It's also got a slight shimmer to it. I'm not keeping it to the depth, and I'm going in super light with it. It's just giving me what I want on my lash line. I don't know if you can hear through the door. I've actually got the door closed today. Jelly is on the other side of it, snoring her guts out. I can hear her through the door. I think I'm going to go into this shade here, which, you know, if we turn it around, it's next to the pale shimmer, or between the two pale shimmers. It's quite neutral. And then I'll reassess and see if I want a little bit more depth on the outer corner. Oh, jelly. What I do want to do is get that green shimmer on a little pencil brush and bring it underneath there, and of course pull it up. Now clean that off, just going into this sort of dark iridescent-y green. I'm just putting it right on the outer corner on the lash line. Now just lastly, I am just going back into that dark green cream to powder and just bringing it on the lash line to give a bit of depth there. I just poke myself in the eye because I'm trying to work it right into the base of my lashes. It's what you can see. I don't know if you can see, it just looks slightly darker there, and it just gives us a bit of depth. Working on that. Okay, I've poked myself in the eyes way too much. What I'm going to go and do is finish my makeup and finish getting ready, and I'll be right back. So we are back with the final look, and this is another one that I am going to say I need to put on my desk. This is the problem that I have. I forgot how much I like a cool tone green. That little bit of rosiness in there. This is what I really like about this palette, is that it's different. It's another one of those ones that are just different. There's not, I love neutrals, but not everything on the market is the same as that. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette. Oh, I love it. If you can hear something, the neighbour's started up his car to get ready to head off for the day, which is my sign. Oh, yeah, I love those shimmers. Look at it. Really like to do a full-on 1940s look. Do the hair. I didn't mean doing the hair. I will one day. I know you don't believe it. Pull out a 40s top or a dress or something and really get into it. I'm actually thinking about doing some looks that are inspired by the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, like doing decades of looks. Let me know your thoughts on if that is something that would interest you. But in the meantime, don't forget, tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends, tell everyone, come along, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this palette if you have it, or what you think about doing something like decades down the track. Until next time, my loves, I'm just going to go and look at my eyes in the mirror, in the sun, all of that. So take care, bye.